Episode 121, Hard Time Survival. I think we're all being challenged here, man. This is about mid-October 2020, and I'm coming to you live first from my pickup truck on my commute to Los Angeles. I've got a long drive, and I've been trying to take time off to do these podcasts for you guys in my vehicle. I live a simple life. We're going to get into that, but the only quiet place I have, an undisturbed place, is my vehicle, and that's my F-350 diesel truck towing a big-ass trailer behind me, about 6 tons full of tools. I don't know how I do this, but I love doing it, so I'm going to continue. But we persevere, and I guess that's probably part of today's show, is that no matter what situation you got to keep trying. You got to be innovative. You got to keep pivoting. You got to keep stepping. You got to keep keeping your head up. You got to keep keeping on, man. And especially when you're challenged. I've placed myself in a position where I'm experiencing more and more freedom every year. Every year is getting better for me financially. I don't make the big buco bucks. And I think the title of this show is what we're all going to have to face. We're all going to have to face not the aesthetics of things, but the performance of what things can do for us. It doesn't matter how we look. It doesn't matter how we're perceived. It matters about what we're doing, exactly what we're doing. And I think there's not a lot of doers going on, almost ever. There's a lot of talkers. There's a lot of problems. There's hardly any solutions. And I hope to bring some solutions to you guys today. You might like it. You might not. I think my lifestyle and what I'm suggesting is completely different from most people. And I think that, as I said on this show before, I don't think this show is for everybody, because what it seems like it's a positive if you can get through the rubble and you can get past the mirror of yourself. Because in the end, really, when you knock all of your enemies down and you figure out what's bothering you, the last thing that you're going to find, most of you, will be that the biggest problem you have, the biggest enemy, the biggest roadblock is yourself. And you need to move past that. And I think it could be coming to times where you're forced to do that. We don't know. We don't know how this comes. But in our philosophy in my life, you do stuff that makes your life better regardless of what's going on around you. And it's good for the people, good for the planet. So welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and for the planet, exploring alternatives to the daily grind, to liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life raw. This is a potty mouth podcast. I've been doing good lately. I don't know if that's messing with my numbers or what. I don't care, but I want it to come out natural. It's me. I'm not trying over hard. I just drive in my truck. I'm just some regular old schmo. And let's start with that. I guess it's like a fat person telling you need to lose weight and how to lose weight, and here's all your problems. And maybe it's a broke-ass person telling you how to save money, yet they live in a tent, and they're homeless. There's always some information I think you can get from people, but doesn't it seem sometimes like somebody who's very healthy, and maybe not super wealthy, but making some coin, doing good for themselves, they got their shit together, they can tell you how to get your shit together, maybe you should be warrants listening to them. But in my case, it's kind of tricky, because I'm not a rich guy. I make really good money. I make as much money as I want to. I mean, I'm not into the millions. I'm not going to lie. I could, though. I believe in myself enough. As I like to preach on the show, I believe in you guys, too. I wonder if you believe in yourself enough to go out and do whatever it is you want. If it's making $1 million, I think that on the subject of wealth, what it takes to get there. If you've got a pet, you got children, you're in a relationship, or your health, or your time, whatever's valuable for you, especially... I guess where I'm coming from, too, is the people like us. I have no backup, okay? And I'm sure a lot of you guys don't as well. There's no mommy and daddy there holding my hand, and, there's no... I'm not on food stamps. I don't take any government help, really. I've got a special needs kid. The only government help I get, and I accepted, was medical for her. So they helped me with that, and I said, well, that's perfect, but I don't want your food stamps. I don't want your welfare. I don't want anything from you guys. I don't even want to ask you guys for fucking directions. I'd rather make my own shit. And I feel great about that. But I own everything free and clear. And as I said, I from the outside looking in, you would say, well, this guy lives in a tiny home, aka travel trailer. This guy drives an old 96 F-350 pickup truck. It's older than, most of my kids. you know, maybe older than you are if you're listening to this podcast, but I own it. It's a great piece of machinery. It can be rebuilt over and over and over again. I can have this thing for life. The ugly camper I got on top, same thing. I'll have that thing for life. Made out of solid steel, made the old-fashioned way. Even has a beer top opener in the back. It's almost why I bought the thing. It just has a beer bottle opener right at the tail end. I think it makes my truck aerodynamic. But yeah, I own my trailers, my business, all my tools. I own all my tools. I'm not in debt, and I wanted to speak a little bit about that today. And I live a very comfortable life. I go out to sushi whenever I want. I don't want to make this all about what I do, mainly on how to survive hard times. And what I'm seeing is some people getting very freaked out about not just hard times, but retirement and saving money in general, even before all this COVID shit hit. And I think a lot of people are starting to hurt. And what's freaking me out the most, guys, is right now I'm on my commute from North County, San Diego, and Sunnyside, California, to Los Angeles, one of the most biggest armpits of the world. And usually that place is plagued with traffic. There's hardly any traffic. Most people are sitting at home. They're under the COVID. People don't have jobs. They're sitting there waiting for a handout, I guess. I do not know. A lot of people I know are working from home. But it's very peculiar. I am pretty damn sure that I'd say at least 50% of those people who are sitting at home are not working from home. They don't have an internet job. We're not there yet. So I think a lot of people are going to need help. I just spoke with another friend of mine who's kind of wants to do a little business deal with me, and he's saying the same thing. Got a divorce, got himself in a bad spot, needs to save money. He's an older guy, and he's really tripping out. He's like, dude, I got to do something. And he's living in a house. And I have nothing against houses, as long as you're making the income. So it doesn't matter. We always find a way, right? When shit gets hard, as the title of the show, it seems like we always figure out something. Maybe we had to eat rice and beans for a month or something, and spaghetti every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which I've done on purpose without even having to. We always find a way. I think that we're all spoiled. Maybe not all of us. And a lot of us aren't aware of how other people live, and a lot of us aren't allowed because of rules and regulations by the cities. You know, if I had my choice, I'd be living in a recycled pallet hut, and it would be quite the hut. You see, I'm a inventor builder guy. I'm very handy. I'd have solar hot water heaters on that thing, solar panels, and everything you need to stay perfectly snug as a bug. And I'd build it artfully. I'd have a car door for a front door. I would do things on purpose just to make it look awesome. It'd be like that old woman in that movie, The Labyrinth, that's living in the junkyard. That would be me. But I would definitely elaborate on the thing. Joshua's freaking, what's that movie called? With all the people live in the Swiss Family Robinson. There we go. That's what I would do. I think life would be fantastic because I don't really care about the aesthetics of stuff as much as the functionality. So by me living in a trailer full-time, stationary, I don't travel around, and I make, there's a year I made about a little under $250,000 I grossed, not netted, grossed. For those of you who don't know the net, that's everything you brought home. I made some pretty good money. I wrote a check to the IRS that hurt really, really bad for taxes. It was really close to, let's just say it was a lot. I guess you're not supposed to speak about money or something. I don't know. But speaking about money, if you're making like, say, let's say $45,000 a year, if you were living like me, you can actually live, I would say not perfectly comfortable, but you're not going to hurt. You can live for like $25,000 a year. In fact, I know people who are doing it. And you take the rest of that $20,000 and you put it in the bank and you save it every single year. It's up to you what you'd want to do with that money, whether you'd want to invest it to make more money out of it or save it for retirement. You could be in the position as me as I don't know how to invest. I've got a year's supply of, probably 2 years supply of money if I live total Tico style, as I call it. That's the Ticos of the poor people of, oh my God, I'm at a loss for words today. Place, damn it, what are the tropical places over there by Nicaragua? I'll probably think about it later. But yeah, just poor people, they call them Ticos. And that's the way I live. And I saved all my money. I've struggled and struggled. Or not struggled, I've saved and did live below my wages, I guess is where I'm trying to get the shit spit out of my mouth. So some people may say I'm lucky. I'd say it has nothing to do with luck. It's been that I worked very hard, I sacrificed, I saved my money, and I actually enjoyed myself along the way. One of my things, a lot of you full-time listeners know that I go to sushi almost once a month, sometimes twice a month with my business. I get to take people out, but with my family, we'll go out and eat some sushi. That's like our thing, and we'll spend 180, 200 bucks. Maybe sometimes we'll go twice. We'll get some donuts every once in a while. We try to eat healthy, try to eat organic. But again, I don't want to make this about me, but as I've gotten to a level now where we can do whatever we want, really. But we live simple, so we don't have the fancy-ass house like my friend does, you know. When I say fancy, too, I mean if everybody's got their own room, it's a 4-bedroom house, you know, in Costa Mesa, California, or I think which is turning into a shithole, by the way. But no, we live in a small-ass little trailer, and we save all of our money, and we're looking to actually buy a house. I'm actually hoping, I don't mean bad on anybody like that this for a crash or something, but the way I look at it is there's a lot of people who are pretty much uneducated. I don't want to say you're dumb, but I would say that if you're doing what you're doing and you listen to a show like this and other people are saying the same shit, it's not just me saying this, then you've lost it, man. You're losing the game, and you're going to lose hardcore. If you got more going out than what's coming in, you're in the red. And I think a lot of people are already in the red. They just don't know what to do. But yeah, if you're making $45,000 a year, you should be living a lifestyle that's designed around $25,000 a year. The best that you can. The lower, the better, to get yourself up. You do this for about 5 years, and you got 20 grand in the bank every year. You got $100,000 in the bank, and you're able to move around. And let me tell you, when you got $100,000 in the bank or over, money doesn't buy happiness, but it makes you feel really less stressful. It makes you feel, too, like anything's possible as long as you're responsible and you don't go tapping into it. You leave it there. You only use it for emergency. But anything that pops up, you're ready to go. So I think you guys, those of you who are in the red, those of you who are getting scared, I think you need to grow up a little bit, and you need to mature into seeing what this lifestyle, this whole matrix, this design, the American dream, because that's all it is. It's a dream, you know, not the American reality. I'm not even sure if that dream even exists anymore, where you can own a house free and clear. Go look at some of the statistics out there and stuff. I mean, there's some rich-ass people buying up properties, but I think a lot of them inherited money. A lot of them are super smart. A lot of them did work their asses off for it. And a lot of them, I think that we'd all have to ask ourselves, us little upper to middle to lower class people, need to ask ourselves, why aren't you there yet? And I think that I could probably say that because you're not willing to work your ass off like those people do. I'm not looking to become a millionaire. I have my kids. I guess maybe I should explain where my message is coming from, is I want to feel safe as I do right now. I want to feel untouched and minimally affected as I am right now. I want to have freedom in my life. I want to do things on my terms, when I want, how I want. Of course, we have things like taxes and things like that, and speed limits and, you know, common laws, gravity and physics and things we need to obey by. But for the most part, I get to take off with my kids if I want for 3 months out of the year, 4 months out of the year. I do what I want. I make as much money as I want or as little as I want. I'm able to plan my life out, and I don't have to live with that stress. And I got to tell you guys, it feels really, really good. So yeah, you got to practice frugality. I'd say a way for people if they don't know how to live like I am, how to live below your means, below your wages, just start practicing and turn this into a game. I kind of tell this to people who are addicted to drugs, people I've known in my life, mainly men, and with alcoholism and stuff too. And I told them, well, we're men, right? So, and when I say this, I'd probably say on my show, Human Up, we're human, right? So if you're such a man or you're such a badass woman, then why would you let something like frugality just slip right by you, like you don't have control over it? You're saying you don't have control over yourself. You're saying you don't have control over your addiction, over alcohol or drugs. What happened to being that badass dude that nothing could touch? So maybe you might want to think about it and channel that energy and say, no, look it, I can do this. I can do anything I fucking want. All I got to do is put my mind to it. And I need to be respectful of myself. I need to believe in myself. But I also need to have discipline. And that's probably one of the hardest things for people to do. So I'd advise to take a little exercises. Everything I believe in life is like a muscle. Your spirituality, your intellect. We definitely know, we can all agree, hopefully, that your immune system and your muscles, you know, the more you exercise, the healthier you are. The better your blood flows. In fact, I think more oxygen goes to your brain thinks more clearly, you're getting movement and you're getting experience. So before, I would say a better practice run analogy is if you were going to try to live off the land or you wanted to be a survivalist, is go sleep in your backyard with a tent. Next day, don't sleep with a tent. Sleep with a blanket. Next night, just sleep one night without a blanket, just to see what it feels like. So you can take this same philosophy, these ideas, and incorporate them in your life every day. I'll tell you some games I used to play because I was fucking bored. You know, I worked by myself. So I just pretended I didn't have any food, man. I just ate, I think it was walnuts, or I'm sorry, pistachios. I just ate pistachios all day. And I had one jar of water and I drank that. That was all I had the whole entire day. Just to feel what it felt like to just only be able to live off nuts. Imagining that I was, let's just say I was in the wilderness, even though I wasn't, but I was doing some strenuous work. And I imagine how would I feel living off, like, say, a sip of pine tea, you know, pine needle tea from a pine tree, and getting a handful of nuts, say some acorns or something. That's all I had. There was no squirrels, no nothing. I got to go the whole entire day. What the fuck does that feel like? Well, guess what? You can do that. You can just do that little experiment. And I'll tell you what, it makes you respect things a hell of a lot more, because I guarantee you the next day you go eat breakfast or eat your lunch, it's probably the best hamburger or sandwich or even more nuts than you've ever tasted in your life. And it humbles you down. And I think that it's a good practice to do before you're forced to do it. In case, and I guess I haven't mentioned here, in case we do hit a recession, I mean, this is some scary, weird shit out there. And I'm just trying to out here and help. I don't want to doom some glue, but I want to get you guys inspired to just try these things. And on an off note here about treating yourself and doing without, is I see a lot of people who've made it, who are rich, who have the house, who eat sushi every weekend. They eat steak every day. They get everything they want. And guess what? It seems like they don't appreciate the things enough. For instance, I'll tell you at my family's house, well, not my family, but my ex-wife's, sorry, by the way, in the past I called her the Xbox. I thought it was fucking funny. The ex-wife Xbox, if you put it together. It's no harm. She knows all about it, and she thinks it's funnier than shit. So those people who got angry over that, no big deal. But back to the story, is they were making prime rib, and they had ribs, and I love ribs, man. They cut the ribs out, and it was steaks. It was like Christmas or something. And I was like, what are you going to do with those ribs? Like, oh, just give them to the dogs. I'm like, shit, I'll take them. You know, and they were just like, okay, like bothered. I had no shame in my game. I took those ribs hoping the next day and heated them up over the grill and ate the shit out of them, and they were fucking good. I couldn't believe that they were throwing that part away, but it goes to show you, like, a lot of people just will half eat stuff, and it's not like something special, and it's not respectful, and it's not sacred to them. Tell you guys another story. I just went on a sushi run last week and didn't have it for a few weeks, and man, it was, if there's one thing I can say, one of my favorite foods, it's like a spiritual experience for me, man. That is one food that is... So, to lock it all up and narrow it down, you get a lot more appreciation for things. Plowing along here, moving forward. I hope this stuff's helping you guys. I hope that noise in the background is not hurting your ears too bad. You need to gain skills, guys. I would say I've seen a lot of people laying around doing nothing during the COVID lockdown. Whenever you have downtime, I would say even when you don't have downtime, you need to make time. My goal is to get a residual income. I've got a special needs kid. I run a wonderful company, man. I run a I hate fucking construction. I hate it to death. But you know what? The money is undeniably more than fantastic. It's excellent. And it affords me to live the lifestyle I do. It's a start and finish job, right? I start something, I finish. I don't need to mess with that client ever again if I don't want to, unless they have a problem with the product that I provided, as far as like a leak in a roof or something I fixed for them. But for the most part, most people's businesses and most of their income has to come in increments, and it has to come in at like all year long. It has to stay in a steady pace, whereas mine could just be in a big giant package. I could just bust ass for a season like the deadliest catch, like the guys in the crab boats, and I get to come back and take home a big old loot. And I love that style. But I need to do something because I can't keep this up being a single father with my my special needs kid. So that's my goal. And really that's it. Not to be filthy rich, but to have enough money. I would say a comfortable amount of money, if we need to talk numbers, is about $100,000 a year. I think that will help with retirement, which I've never really looked to retire. I looked to work till the day I die, teaching permaculture and gardening. I think in the next couple decades that I practice this stuff, I'm going to get even better at food production than I already am. To toot my horn there, look at me, big guy, I can't get my fucking shirt on now, big old swollen head. Comedy, folks. I try to do some funnies in there, but yeah, I think that you need to get back to it. You guys need to gain these skills, and that's what I've been doing. Is working even at night times. I work during the day, and I work at evenings. I work every single time that I can, and on my phone I do research. I watch YouTube videos. If I got ideas on something I want to build or an invention I'll look and try to Google to see if those who came before me, if they had success. If there's something I don't know how to do, I get on my phone. Instead of watching Facebook and stuff like that, I go and I research on could I do this thing? How can I perfect this thing? I'm learning about soil biologies and things that salt soils and how plants grow, and watching documentaries on spirituality, all kinds of different things. I just can't stop learning. And I think that you can gain skills just by sitting there looking at your so-called idiot box, which I think is a smart box and has turned our lives into one of the greatest moments of human existence, with the information right at your fingertips. And it's a shame on you if you're not utilizing that information, because you can do just about anything. You can watch an open brain surgery, for Christ's sakes. I mean, that's fucking unreal of the shit that you can watch and learn. But you need to gain those skills, guys. And one skill leads to another, and you won't know unless you keep trying. And whether times get good or times get fucked up, these skills will help you. And how do they help you? I guess I'll explain a little bit, is learning a little bit just how to change your own oil. And guess what? Maybe you fucked it up. You stripped the pin, the plug that goes in your oil tank, and you learned a lesson. It's going to cost you some money, but now you learned, wow, that thing's got to go in a certain way. Maybe I should have YouTubed it and did a little more research. So now if you go to pay to get it done, somebody screws your shit up, you kind of have an idea of what happened, instead of being idealist about how exactly things work, even in the simplest form. The way I can say this is, a lot of people in the construction industry, when they're getting a bid, I win a lot of work through my sales because I don't try to sell them. I just try to educate them and answer their questions. But I'm very honest. I do what I say, and I do fair value for value exchange for the system. Otherwise, I walk away. But I tell the people, if you don't pick me, just make sure that you watch out for these sorts of things. But the point I want to make is that these people are uneducated and kind of don't know what needs to happen to get stuff fixed. And I know that we all can't know about everything, but at least you get in and you start to know some of the basics. And it really helps you out. And the older and older you get, the more you pick up. So a lot of people have asked me, well, how the hell do you do the things that you do? The truck I'm in right now, I've set up a whole entire solar system with a charge controller that levels out my batteries. I've got an inverter in there for electronic devices. I can charge my cell phones, my laptop. I can run a TV off that thing. I got a refrigerator, freezer. I got a 20-gallon hot water tank on top of my roof. I built all these things myself, ran all the electricity, ran all the plumbing, learned how to do all these things. Did I learn them overnight? No. I've picked up skills throughout my journeys, throughout my time, because I utilize my time right. And you guys will be amazed that you'll think you're a dummy, like I used to think. I still think I'm a fucking dummy, because there's some smart motherfuckers out there. But I know I'm getting there, but I keep whittling. But you'd be amazed at the things when you put your head down. Just like, say, your vocabulary, which I should work on because I butchered the English language. That's my no school mentality. No, not graduated. Which, by the way, I make more money than most of my friends who did graduate, and I never graduated. Just saying. But anyways, learning like one word every single day. And I did this for a while when I was in my early 20s, writing poetry and stuff like that. And you'd be amazed after a month, 2 months, and then you do it for a year. The year just goes by, and then when you look back, you go, holy shit, look how far I came. You just need to start. And you can't look at the object as this giant, huge spaghetti ball. You got to take it one noodle at a fucking time. And if you got the balls and you believe in yourself, sure, this thing seems like an entire solar system of noodles. But as you start whittling, you're going to get somewhere and you're going to learn a lot of shit. You're going to definitely be in a better place than you were yesterday. And keep looking forward to tomorrow and being positive. And the other thing I would tell you guys is the things that you put in motion, the things that you do today, just like me having 2 years supply of emergency funds and investing money, is the money, the dollar that I started my account with, my savings account, years ago, and whittling at it. It looked like it was nothing. There was $100 maybe in there. And now it's grown to this large amount. And if I didn't start and believe in myself and keep trying, I would have never got here. So I always tell myself too, thank you past self for giving this gift to your future self. There's a lot of shit that sometimes you guys can do. And this is very important, I think. I'm trying to give you guys tips. I know people don't really care for the philosophies, but it's all in the philosophy. When you think of things to give your future self, or you do something like plant a tree. Let's just say you're in your 70s and you plant a tree that grows like an avocado tree or something, and you know, you're not going to be alive to see it where it's feeding hundreds of people. You know, it's going to produce giant avocados. The motions you put in will give back to the earth. And sometimes from your younger self, putting emotions in, you don't see the action. You don't experience the return on investment, the ROI, until later on in years. But then when that later years come, that seed you planted, that bank account you started, all of a sudden is built up. And then next thing you know, you are so grateful for doing what you did. And it starts today. It starts now, and you need to begin. I like that one. I think that one was really great for you guys. Next, you need to get out of debt. You need to stay out of debt. I think there's a lot that I don't understand in the financial sectors where a lot of rich people use debt, but I do know people, when they don't do it right, they're stressed as fuck. And how do I know this? Actually, my own CPA, my own guy who runs my money for me, does my taxes, I spoke with him and I did an exchange, right? And I'm thinking of him because I just spoke with him a couple days ago. This guy's a numbers guy, right? This is what he does for a living. And I sat down with him and I just said, I kind of don't understand how these people leverage debt. Where they say if you're not in debt, you're paying somebody else's debt, you know. And the way, however it goes, it's crazy shit, guys. That's how people own all these homes and everything. They just keep accruing. And how the rich actually use money, they actually don't hold money, they hold assets. It's fucking crazy. We all need to learn this shit to understand how the game rolls. But when it came down to it, the people who didn't play it right, who aren't filthy rich and own tons of houses, that's my thought anyway, my hypothesis of what happens. They just didn't go through, maybe they got tired, some life event or something happened. They weren't able to really accumulate a lot of wealth through being in debt, acquiring debt. So he told me, I told him about how much money I have in the bank. He says, I know, I've been running your money for years. He says, the way you live in your RV and your way low overhead and your lifestyle, your freedom. He goes, I admire a lot of it, not all of the parts of your life, but he goes, you're going to do something one of these days. I'm not trying to toot my own horn because I really don't give a fuck what anybody thinks or doesn't fucking think. I'm into my own life. I'm into how things roll. I want to be happy, right? I am happy. I want to maintain this happy. And I really don't care if people look down on me. It's another lesson in and of itself. I say it all the time, can't say it enough, but he was very proud of it. Like he says, I wish I could do that. If I could start from scratch, just wipe it all clean. No debt, just going in there. I will say on this subject of debt, bringing it back to me, since I love talking about me so much, I am 15 grand in debt from the ex-wife. I want to just keep saying it because I think it's funny. The Xbox got me into, by getting help from the state for my special needs kid. The state came back and says, we want all that money back. Where I heard it's illegal. I have no idea. I don't have the time because I'm making money. I spend $50 a month. When I get to a comfortable place, I might go dispute it or pay the whole fucking thing off. I don't know. But I do have that. That didn't occur from something I agreed to. But I've taken the responsibility to take care of it. But yeah, another one I heard from a friend of mine who was actually really rich, owned properties in Kauai. I actually got flown there to do a construction job for him. It wasn't the funnest for sure, but shit started to hit the fan, and he was taking off, getting rid of his house, and I asked him, you know, what's going on, this and that, and he was like, dude, look, I got to keep on the move. I'm not set up like you are. And I said, whoa, pump the brakes here. What do you mean? Because I kept asking this guy to take me under his wing, like, show me what's going on. And he's the one who says, you need to always stay in debt. He told me some things I can't even fathom in my head, like that banks are willing to loan to people who don't have, who are actually kind of a risk. Like, I don't understand all that. I've never got into it. But this guy, who's a rich guy, owning property, says, I'm not as set up as you are. I have to keep rolling. And I looked at that moment. He didn't want to explain himself because he was in stress, needed to get moving. And he just left me with that. And I looked and said, wow. And I saw the look in his face where he was not happy. Debt sometimes can be a bad fucking thing. It could be a good thing. I think it's a very dangerous thing that you better watch your ass and you better learn before you do it. What better place in the lifestyle design as I'm trying to share with you guys, which by the way I coin as the alternative lifestyle design. There's an alternative to the American dream. There's an alternative to everything. And I'm living proof. I'm the ambassador to be able to do this. And I think that I need to prove it to you guys. I've said it on my show before. I just haven't had the time to actually post maybe even short clips of every single day of where I'm at, what I'm doing, so you guys kind of get the feel of, is this guy full of shit or is he actually doing what he says he's doing? But if you guys are in debt, let's get back to that. You need to start whittling at that debt and start getting rid of it. Remember, like I was saying, live below your means. If you're scared to do this because what your family would think, or that your wife would be embarrassed, or your husband or something, guess what? You're with the wrong fucking person. In fact, to, in a roundabout, gingerly way, say that's why I've changed certain aspects in my life, why I'm solo, because I knew that this was just going to get a debt. We're not going to get anywhere. My life was not going to go anywhere. In fact, it would be, I'd just make myself in debt and I'd never be able to save money. Because the lifestyle, the ideas weren't there. The respect or the willingness to work wasn't there. So I would say for you guys, the quicker you get away from that person, and I know it's fucking horrible, the better your life will get. Because you need to do the math. Only you know what you're doing. If you're doing this for because of appearance, because you're worried about what your neighbors, your friends, for status and all that, you already lost the fucking game. Because you need to have it up here and in here in your heart. I'm pointing at my head. You need to have your mind straight. You need to have your heart straight. You got to have your motives straight. And you need to know what the fuck you're doing. What you're fucking aiming yourself at. And if you're aiming yourself at shit dealt on other people's perspectives of you, or their ideas, or their judgment of you, you're in a fucked up situation, man. And you need to get out of that as soon as possible. Why not go underground and save your money? And then actually, I would say if you're into status, go and live well below your means, as I said. Go live off $25,000 a year. And then save a couple $100,000 fucking dollars and just go, if this is your thing, it's not mine. But it's totally possible. You know, if I'm making, say, $100,000 a year right now, and I live $25,000, I'm saving $75,000 a year. Guess what? 5-10 years from now, I've got a pretty hefty chunk. I can go buy me a Ferrari. I could be doing 2 chicks at the same fucking time, you know, with this. I'm not just jokes, guys, jokes. I could be that dude that's flashing up, and then maybe everybody would look at and start following me, you know? But it's not my bag. And I think that what makes me sick is that people follow rich people or people who are well-to-do, as I said earlier, and they're fooled. And these people are trying to sell you. Anybody who's trying to sell you something is looking to make money off you. And you're damn well straight they're going to fucking make shit look good. That's why I think this show is never really going to make it anywhere. I would love to monetize it and talk for a living and actually improve my life. I think that's like one of my goals, but I just don't think it's going to work with this podcast, is to actually make enough money to pay my rent and buy my food. And actually, the point would be, like, the thought that I had with it, again, which I don't think is going to work, is that I'd get paid to actually write like a magazine type of thing, like a show, create a podcast for you guys on how to do, like I keep imagining it myself. It's called the Alternative Lifestyle Design Magazine, the Alternative Lifestyle Design Podcast. And I just start fucking, someone's probably going to take it, but you're more than welcome to. But you keep design, like just like a Mother Earth magazine or something, where you look and there's just like tips of stuff, like on how to grow your food, how to use firearms, protect yourself, how to be frugal, how to attend frugal trips. You know what I mean? So it'd be my job. I was getting paid to actually research this, put it in practice, use some certain products maybe, and then present them to my membership. So that was the plan. But as I said right now, I'm not really planning anything. I'm not selling you guys anything. In fact, I'm paying to do these podcasts and taking time off work and everything else. But I love doing them. So I'm not selling you shit. And I would be very weary for people who are rich, who are showing you with the blonde, you know, the chicks all over them in the car, the Lambo and everything like that. Because guess what? Most of us, we're never going to get there. And that's the proverbial carrot. That's the thing that you're looking, I want to be that guy or be that girl. And you probably can with a lot of work. But if you started off in an alternative lifestyle design like I am, the amount of money that you would be able to save and the time, like I'll just leave you guys to. I live next to a fucking freeway. I live in an RV park. There's some pretty fucking low-life people that live in that place. But I don't live in my house, really. I work out of my house. I'm constantly working. I work 7 days a week, just about. I try to take one day off, but even then I'm doing something. But I look to do YouTube videos, my garden business. I'm starting all kinds of things. So the way I look at it is my overhead's low. I don't need to worry about where I live because I'm so busy working, I don't even get to experience anything that's going on around me. And when I make my money, and I'm ready to go. Maybe this 2021, if things crash, I'm waiting for stuff to go down so I can pick up a good deal. And maybe I'll get out of there and get myself, I don't know where I'll go, but definitely know that I'm in a good place. And I've kept myself out of debt, mostly from my decisions. 15 grand ain't shit to me. I can pay that. I can get that done for the rest. I might just work and pay the whole thing off again. I don't know. But if you are in debt, consider, as I said, an alternative lifestyle design. And if you're not in debt and you're worried about retirement, or you have some crazy dream, or you fucking hate what the fuck you do. I've got friends right now, and the fervor that comes out of their face of how bad they hate their shit. And I'm just looking going, dude, this is the rest of your fucking life, bro. Just sell that shit. Go get yourself a fucking $100,000 because they make good money. Get yourself, they have fucking trailers, guys, that have like fucking disco balls and shit, and the black lights and waterfalls, you know, not quite that, but big old pop. They're mansions, ceiling fans, huge. They're comfortable as shit. They look really nice if you're after status. You know, I bought an old ass one because I'm a cheap fucking bastard. That's the way us Russians roll. Rolling with the Russians. But yeah, if that's your case, and then transition into something else. Save yourself a shit ton of money, or say you can not do that job. You can quit for like 5 years and just go full blown into your dreams and see if you can make it happen. Maybe don't burn your bridges so you can come back if there's room for you. Or make yourself very valuable so you can go get a job anywhere else. You can go multiple ways. Plan your life. Change your shit. So you ain't got to be that fucking miserable guy living and doing shit that you fucking hate. Because guess what? It's my belief that's just going to take your life one of these days. A sad body like that is not a happy body. The immune system, the mind, the soul is definitely not happy. So yes, you guys, that's to get out of debt. I don't know which way to tell you. What's the easiest way? I would say figure out what's good for you. Work on the lowest. Say you have 5 different credit cards you got to pay off. Pick up the smallest one first, pay it off, see how that feels like, and then celebrate. Treat yourself. Go out to sushi after. If you're making the money and you think you can. If that feels good, go after the biggest one and knock that fucking thing out. Just put your head down, plow. But get yourself out of that fucking, if you're in a house and you can afford it, good. If not, dude, you need to get, the lower you go, the more you can save. Where are we at now? We got to go on the next one here. Bear with me, guys. I'm driving here. And by the way, too, I don't think I really have the time to edit these things all out, any sneezes or coughs and stuff like that, because I'm just busy as fuck. And this shit's killing me, man. So hopefully you guys enjoy this stuff. I think we're on our last one here, which is create more time. So that's a good one to end with there. So as I spoke to you guys with myself, I got lots of time to conjure up stuff. That's how I'm able to think of these crazy things like biodegradable container gardening, having a thing that's completely natural with no moving parts except for a water timer. You know, it's water pressure, that's it, and a battery-operated timer. And I do almost nothing to my plants. And I'm growing like 300 different varieties of plants in a greenhouse I invented, hanging from the ground. It's like a big jungle gym. And the ants can't touch it, nothing, the birds can't get it, the gophers, the rats, the mice, nothing. I've fucking figured out this wonderful thing and I'm so happy about it. How did I do that? It's the time. And I spoke a little bit on the last episode about time management. And I think that's probably one of the biggest problems we have in this struggle. Is the struggle real? I'd say yeah, because our brains are so preoccupied with everything coming at us. We've got worry and we have stress. And where does the worry and stress come from? Because you can't even figure your way out of this. I just want anybody who's here, I ask this a lot. If what I'm saying doesn't make sense to you, then tell me. Share with me and the rest of us here, and I'll share your opinions on what I have to say about this, how we can make our lives better. And if it doesn't make sense, you got a better way, tell me. But does it not make sense that you need time to engineer your way out of here. Because unlike most people who are trying to sell you something, which I'm not, I'm just sharing ideas, I couldn't fix what you have. Nobody could fix what you fucking have. People can try to. They can inspire you, but nobody can inspire. And I see this all the time. People are going to these self-improvement things and stuff like that, and they're looking for inspiration. They're looking for someone to help them, even though they're equipped with everything they have. And a lot of these people don't even know what's going on in your life. Everybody has something different. They have something emotionally going, maybe some sort of handicap, whether it be mental or they just don't believe in themselves enough. They were damaged as a kid, damaged as an adult, and they need to seek help from somebody else. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that you need to believe in yourself. And if you're needing to get inspiration from other sources and you're not able to inspire yourself, you're not able to basically fill up your own gas tank, you got a fucking problem. But I can understand why, and I think this is very powerful. As I said, you need the time. Well, how do we do that? How do we create more time for ourselves? So you can just sit in a chair or at nighttime and actually have a thought and give energy towards how can I better myself? How can I turn my dreams into reality? You need to lower that overhead. You need to take the things, the small amount of things, which I don't have all of them. Take those things and start incorporating them into your life. Get your overhead down low. Start knocking out your debt. Do you guys ever figure, like, do you have something you have to do? I don't know if you're like me. Like, to me, the desk has to always be cleared at the end of the day. So let's just say, like, I'm going to go off the top of my head. I make my own vitamin C waters. I take like 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C for various reasons every single day. I knew that I had to do that before I go to work because I'm a piece of shit in the morning. 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning rolls around. I'm like, I'm a zombie. So I'm like, you know what? I can't relax until I get that done. Doesn't that remind you of kind of our lives? We're like, dude, what if the COVID shit hits and we go on a second lockdown? Do I have enough food? What am I going to do? What if I lose my job? I already lost my job. It's been months. How do I even find a job? This shit just keeps going on and on. Dude, I need to lose weight. I feel like I'm fat, like I'm ugly, I'm old. What's going to happen when I get old? Do I have enough money for retirement? All of these things start rolling in your head. Can I take care of my children? Things we can't even think of, too. What if I get hit by a bus? Did I do everything right? Did I leave everything good for my kids? Or what if my car just all of a sudden fucking breaks down for good and I have no money, backup money to buy a new car? How am I going to get to work? Fuck. So by saving a bunch of money in the bank account, saving up emergency funds, lowering your overhead, having all these things relieves the stress and then gives you the time to not work like I do, to actually sit there and do fucking nothing maybe. Just sit there and think and get a bird's eye view of your life. To listen to people like me and others, especially people who ain't selling you fucking shit. And just look at that and ask yourself, does this make sense to me? How can I incorporate this in my way? If that's one thing I'd love to leave you guys with, is to utilize things like what I'm saying in your way. I'm merely showing you guys the canvas and the colors of paints that I'm using to paint my world. I'm hoping that you could pick up a brush and make your own colors and use your own techniques to brush your own world and create what it is that you want. I know that's a mouthful, and I don't know if that's enough. I don't know. I don't give a fuck, really. Like I said, I think that a lot of people are going to hurt, and I hope that the people who are, if the shit hits the fan, even if it doesn't, people don't know what to do, find this show and it helps you out. Really, like I said, I'm paying to do this show. I'm taking time out of my day to do it, and I love doing it. And if you like this thing and you want to help me out, just go and like it, or give me a middle finger, or give me a thumbs down, or better yet, comment. And there's a description below, whether you're watching this on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple iTunes, whatever. In that description is my email. You can email me, ask me questions. As I said, I work a lot of hours. I'm not the quickest getting back, but I will definitely answer you. But it makes my day when people let me know how I'm doing for you. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's see if I can make it without fucking up the end of the show. Well, before I do, you guys can check me out on TikTok. It's all up and in it. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. There's a Facebook group and all that. We're going to be adding more stuff here too. Maybe some Parler, some other platforms and stuff. We're not on Twitter or anything like that, but just type in up and in it. I don't know if they're blocked me yet or if they're going to get me off the air. But go out there and see. But yeah, as I say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up. Live it, love it, own it. And bone it, my friends.